Welcome to 5 things we learned about Tottenham from the Tottenham versus Luton match in the Premier League today. Number 1, Ange is the real deal. Look, we're only 8 games into the project, but he has broken all the curses that has faced us so far this season. Arsenal away, didn't lose. Liverpool at home, managed to get a last-minute winner in probably one of the most cursed fixtures of our whole season. And now today there were many in our way, including the third kit curse, the 12:30 kickoff curse, the newly promoted club curse, the playing a newly promoted team after just beating a good team curse, and the game before the international break curse. Now to non-Spurs fans that might not make a lot of sense, but to you Spurs fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and Ange has managed to pass them all in flying colours with today's 1-0 win at Luton. Now this is actually the best start to the season with 20 points since our 60-61 title win. Now it's fair to say that a lot of fans were hesitant at Ange's appointment at first, and you know what, that's completely understandable. Not a lot of people really knew anything about him, including myself. I had to do a lot of research to really truly understand who this guy is before he came to our club. I am so glad that we appointed him over others now. And he has proven exactly why Celtic fans were absolutely gutted to see him leave. They warned us that we would like this guy way too much really early on, and he has proven them exactly right. And now Ange Postecoglou has taken his rightful place amongst the elite managers across the world. Now don't get me wrong, it's early days, but all the signs are extremely positive, and I'm excited to see what Ange can do throughout this whole project at Tottenham. Number 2, Mickey van der Ven is one of the best young centre-backs across Europe, nay, the world. He was the fastest defender in the Bundesliga last season, and it's really showing because there's been so many games so far where really tough opponents on the wings, whether that be Salah, Diaz, I think Morris today a couple of times, I think Achillea, Jesus, Saka, the list goes on. A lot of these quite quick players have tried to take on Van der Ven, and he has said no. He's moving like Gandalf right now because he literally said, "You shall not pass," to all of these attackers. He's playing like an experienced centre-back in his prime, and I need to remind you, he's only 22 years old. He's cool and collective on and off the ball, and he complements Romero really well with his, his level-headedness, his speed helps complement Romero's aggressiveness. And together, those two have been an incredible centre-back partnership. Now, Maddison did absolute wonders for the goal today against Luton with his nice little turn on the byline. However, I have to give credit to Mickey van der Ven because he managed to open his body up really well to slot the ball home with his left foot. Something that, to be fair, a lot of even professional centre-backs don't manage to do that well, but he did it brilliantly. He got man of the match and is completely well deserved, and I think the future is so bright with Mickey van der Ven at the back. Fingers crossed both him and Romero stay injury free because our backups aren't necessarily as good, but I think it's safe to say that we're in safe hands with those two at the back, for the most part. Now to bring the mood down just a little bit because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Point number 3. Basuma's stupidity today really shows that we are just at the beginning of this project. Look, his first yellow, he clambers all over the player, 100% yellow. And then after that, I don't know what was going through his head. He did an amazing run, got past one player, got past 2 players, tried to go that little extra inch rather than laying the ball off. He just dives for no reason. It's the clearest yellow you've ever seen, and it's just naive, to be honest with you. He was already on a yellow. Dives are always going to be given a yellow nowadays, and there's not going to be no warnings about it. And I'm not being funny, we were about 10 seconds away from the half ending. There was absolutely no need to dive there, because if you lost the ball, look, you would have lost the ball, who cares? It wouldn't have led to anything. It was right on the edge of their penalty area. And I think it just really goes to show that while we do have some really incredible players in this first team, we still have these moments in these games where we switch off. Udogie was another prime example. He's been absolutely incredible season, but today's game, there was just a moment where he just switched off when the ball was looping over. It actually led to a Luton goal, but was disallowed because of a foul on Romero. But there were other moments like this after the 20th minute or so where we just seemed to step off the gas a little bit, being maybe a little bit too complacent, and us switching off really nearly cost us. Now, this also means that Basuma is going to miss the next game, which he would have done already because he met the 5 yellow card threshold, but this does mean that he is still technically on 4 yellow cards. So he'll miss Fulham at home, and if he gets a yellow card in the following game, then he will be missing the next match as well. And while the likes of Højbjerg may be able to fill in his boots, we all know that not having Basuma in any sort of game is a massive miss. Point number 4, Richarlison is still struggling with his finishing. Look, the last couple of games he's done quite well in assisting other players, actually even scoring in the Sheffield United game, which helped us win right at the death. But it only took 5 minutes in this match to clearly see see that he still hasn't quite got his shooting boots on. And look, trying to fill the void of Kane is next to near impossible. No one's expecting that. However, we have to admit we've paid a lot of money for Richarlison, and we just expect a little bit more, especially with the ease of the chances that we had today. There were two insanely good chances really early on. One at the back post with a beautiful ball from Kulusevski, where you feel like he just has to nut one in. Unfortunately, I think he gets caught in two minds, lifts the leg up, completely misses the goal, which is, I don't understand how. He was 1 yard out. And then the second one was just more of a P-roller shot. Okay, I think the defender got there a little bit, but at the end of the day, the shooting needs to be so much better. It was so easy for the goalkeeper just to pick up. And then after 20 minutes, it just felt like he couldn't get these opportunities anymore, and he had to come off the pitch when Basuma got his red card at half-time. So that was the end of Richarlison in this match. Now, I am one that's always willing to give players time. I think it was a little bit unfair on him last year because, you know, Kane was playing all the time. He was barely getting any minutes. When he did, he got injured. But he does need to start showing some more prowess in front of goal. Look, soon enough, Johnson's going to be back from injury. He's going to be battling him out for that position. We did have Solomon there previously. Unfortunately, he's out to 3 to 4 months. Perisic out for the rest of the season. Probably won't see him in the Spurs shirt again. But he does also now have Bryan Hill back in contention for that left wing spot as well. And look, I think the competition's good for this left wing striker spot. It needs to happen for him to want to keep his place. He needs to know that there are other players breathing down his neck that might potentially take that first team spot from him. And look, he's vowed to make the clubs and the fans proud. I do honestly believe that he's wanting to do that. But we are just going to have to wait to see if he's going to live up to his word. And I actually want to know from you guys, how long are you willing to give Richarlison? Is it like a whole season thing? Do you think maybe it's just a few matches, then we need to start getting other players involved? I want to know what you guys think of his current form. Finally, point number 5. The togetherness of the club is something that we haven't seen for a long time. And in fact, pretty much since the Poch days, and dare I say, has the ability to go even further than that. We proved it again in today's game that all of these players are willing to fight for the final result. And there's been a lot of games this season where they've done that, where we wouldn't have necessarily done that in the past 3 or 4 years, whether it be under Mourinho, Nuno or Conte, and even towards the end of Poch's era as well. Even just the little things like seeing Porro celebrate winning a corner, giving it large to the fans, trying to get them excited, buzzing to be a part of this club. These little things that happen every single game now make a massive difference to the fans, to the whole club, to the whole vibe that we're feeling with this new team. The club is extremely likable now, and that's mostly thanks to Ange. He made great captain and vice captain choices. Players he's brought in have fed into this ethos of togetherness, and we now just seem like that young, hungry team willing to battle for all 3 points again, which we haven't seen for a long time. And they're looking to prove everyone wrong. So it doesn't matter whether some fans or the media think we should or shouldn't have won a game. What matters is that all the players and the club, the manager, the fans, we're all coming together to get through these games, get the 3 points where we might not have done before. And that's going to be huge for the development of this team. It's what the fans want to see, and it's what's going to help us achieve something amazing going forward under Ange. That was 5 things we learned from Tottenham versus Luton. International break now. There's going to be some more content coming up very soon. The Do All Spurs Fans Think the Same video I uploaded recently has nearly hit 100,000 views. I can't thank you guys enough. But if you really want to see whether we all agree or maybe disagree on some subjects like the Richarlison stuff earlier, then make sure to watch the video right now. I'll be on the other side.